Welcome back to another fantastic episode of I'm Gonna Work and You're Gonna Listen. I'm outside. And the second, well, those of you from prior years of this episode know the drill. The second I go outside, the HVAC turns on. That's just, them's the rules. Ugh. So, kind of trying to be like a little careful and not smack my microphone thingy madoodle diddly dongle. I think what I used to do, and I think this is what I'm going to do now, is I'm just going to set this thing somewhere so I'm not worried about like bending over and like snapping. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Huh. Someone's shooting. Blah, 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 blah. Break yourself. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, that's the other thing that happens the second I come out here is people start shooting. Straight out of Compton. Crazy motherfucking name. Ice Cube. When I'm hauled off, it's called sawed off. Something, and I don't remember the rest. So, it's trying. The weather. The weather is trying to change. And boy howdy, whenever the weather tries to change, it is just a shit show in the Pacific Northwest. And I think 1, 2, someone's gonna 3, 4, 5, 6. Someone's shooting a revolver. This is taking them forever to reload. And they're only shooting 5 to 6 rounds. But that's okay, this is America. Unfortunately, pretty soon we're all only going to have revolvers. Because that's all they're going to let us have, right? I don't even know where to start out here. There's so much to do. I'm kind of excited because my strawberries are coming back. And I was trying to think to myself, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, someone's shooting a revolver. If you are not in the practice of it, always count the rounds. It gives you a really good idea of what's going on around you if you count the rounds, because then you can really easily figure out what everybody's shooting and what everybody's got. And bloody freaking da. I think this is all clover that's growing. Side note, none of you can see this, but I can see this. I'm trying to plant clover everywhere, and this looks like clover. This looks like massive clover, and this is exactly where I planted the clover. So with any luck, that means it is clover, and that I am not completely retarded. I changed my mind. I don't want to work on my garden right now. Like, I'm having a hard time telling how much of this clover was 2, 3, 4, 5. Why are they mag dumping? Or do you call it mag dumping when it's a revolver? Is it still mag dumping? What was I gonna say? Fucking tired. Naps. I think I was gonna say maybe that there's like 1. Trying to say that maybe there's like no shame in taking naps. I have no idea. It's windy out here. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. Get the mic out of my eyes. I put the mic on top of my hat. That's what the cool people do. And I decided that I actually like that. It's out of my way. I don't have to worry about smacking it on things. The trees are coming back, almost all of them. I think some of these trees aren't going to come back until it gets quite a bit warmer. Some of them are coming back sooner. Some of them maybe aren't quite sure. Oh, I should have brought out the snippers and cleaned the snippers and done a little snipping. But this wind has been crazy. And so the horse is staring at me. Oh, some of these trees are coming back so good though. This little spindly one that I just barely saved is just gonna go berserk. And I think I'm gonna I don't know what I'm gonna do with these trees. Like some of them kinda gotta be straightened out a little bit. Some of them gotta, I don't know. Some of them I gotta move their little fancy things a little bit. Man, some of these are just coming back so hard. These trees are just like, some of these trees are just ready to go off. It's gonna be friggin' amazing. I'm so excited. What's this one? Liberty? This Liberty one's just gonna go off. I can tell. This Liberty is one of the ones I'm the most excited about. But the one I gotta... Damn, it's cold out here. 1. Those are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is that like a M1? 7 rounds. That was a bigger rifle. 1. This Gravenstein is going to take some tweaking. I'm pretty sure what happened with this Gravenstein is the deer got in there and like crushed it sideways. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Did you have to knock down my gate? Did you have to knock down my gate? Did you have to knock down my gate? I'm looking at all my trees. They're looking pretty good. There's clover everywhere though, but I'm like psyched out. I'm like, was clover already growing here? What's going on? What's all this craziness? What's all this craziness about? But some of these, like, we just did not. We kind of like didn't make our little tree gate thing, tree enclosures. We didn't make these tree enclosures as big as we should have. I don't know. We're gonna have to take these apart and we're gonna have to rebuild them. They were put up pretty hastily. It's hard to believe. I know you guys can't see any of this. I did after the initial shit hits the fan. I mean, my wife helped me with almost this. We did almost this whole entire thing together. But I know what I want to do. But then, like, part 2 of this is I had to like redo this whole thing in chicken wire. 4 or 5. Because the deer went right through the bird netting. For those of you who don't know, I have an apple orchard. My wife and I have an apple orchard. And I'm going to go get my little tool while I'm over here. And my wife and I have an apple orchard. And we did bird netting. And no shit, like the bird netting Worked for like a month. And then in 2 nights, deer went through the whole thing. Oh man, something got up in the potato pile and dug a massive hole. Something got in this potato pile and dug a massive hole. Is it a cat? I bet it was a cat. I bet a cat is burying turds. I bet a cow is burying turds. There's little potato pieces everywhere. That's okay. That's funny though. 100% guarantee it was a cat. Because cats love potato patches. And that's okay. They're keeping all the riffraff out. So we had spent days and days and days and days and days and days and days doing green posts and bird netting, only for, it lasted for like a month, and then in 2 nights deer just decided to just wipe out probably 80% of the trees, and I could not figure out what was going on. And I rewrapped bird netting on the bottom half of the trees and like reinforced them with bird netting. The next night the deer wiped out the rest, and then came back through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weirdos. Came back through, and even the ones that I bird netted all the way down to the ground, they still just annihilated them. Absolutely annihilated them. And I bought the local hardware store out of chicken wire and chicken wired until it was friggin' dark. And just barely saved them all. Oh, the raspberry's coming back. I should check the other raspberry. See if the other raspberry is coming back. Yeah, it was just like it was a race, because the deer, I can't remember if this ended up in the last copy of my bunker book or not. This raspberry is not coming back. I don't know how they got in here, but they got in here and something chewed this raspberry down to nothing. Sometimes they come back. How's the grapes doing? The grapes aren't even thinking about coming back. It's probably way too damn cold. You little shit's getting through this thing too. It's hard to say. Of course, they could just be hopping right over at the bastards. Fucking deer. Anyway, what was I saying? We saved a grand total of 2, 3, 4, 5 trees. Like, it was rough. Then we bought the local hardware store out of chicken wire. But it was worth it. It was worth it. These trees cost a fortune. I mean, we got a good deal on them, but they still cost a lot of money. And then the green stakes cost a lot of money. The bird net costs a lot of money. Like, fertilizer costs a lot of money. An orchard is no joke. The price of the trees is only about a third. Clack, 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 clack. There's actually clover everywhere. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. Just keep mag dumping that revolver. Anyway, at least it's warm enough now to where the trees are warming up. I don't know. I don't think I planted this clover. I think this clover must be popping up because we've mowed this for and keep walking over it, that the clover must be coming through, but suspiciously it looks exactly like the same clover that we've been planting, because I can see all the spots where I planted clover, and the clover all stuck, hooked. I can't think of the right word. It all stayed put. I can't think of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Why do they keep mag dumping the revolver? Anyway. So the whole point of all this clover is to satiate the rabbit monster. I know you're in there, rabbit monster. The rabbit monster goes, I'm not in here, mostly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. The hell fires 11 rounds. The clover looks awesome, though. The clover looks really awesome. But I got my little garden tool. Since I got my garden tool, I'm going to work on this garden. But yeah, there's this thing kind of like every spring, it's like, what's gonna come back? Is anything gonna come back? Is something gonna come back? Is the grass gonna come back? Of course the grass is gonna come back. It's kind of funny though. It's just like, you really don't know. Like, there's just this kind of a big sigh of relief once things actually start coming back, because you really wonder, like, there's no summer, fall, spring, whatever the other one is anymore. You just kind of get a couple of random seasons in no particular order. Random seasons. You're like, maybe it's spring today. Maybe it's winter tomorrow. Maybe it's summer tomorrow. Maybe it's spring again. Maybe it's gonna snow today. I don't know. Nobody knows. And I'm sure the plants are all thinking the same thing. The plants are like, should I pop out and see what's crack-a-lacking? Maybe I should stay put. And but the weeds are like, YOLO. And some of the grass is coming out and some of the grass isn't coming out. It's so random. Huh. There's enough sun to start running the fountain. 1, 2, 3. It's a race to the bottom that you didn't know. But it's crazy, like, the difference. There's two things that you need to run a homestead. I'm by no means an expert, but I understand that you need at least two things, preferably three. You need a near infinite amount of energy of which I have none, except for when I talk to you guys. That helps me out a lot. So, shout outs to y'all. I know you don't have to be listening to this. You could be listening to anything, but you're listening to this, which is hooray. Oh, what is it, Mr. Chirperson? Mr. Tubby Chirperson wants some seeds.
Give me some seeds, sir.
Anyway, you need nearly an infinite amount of energy. And the fact that you're not going to get any days off, and even if your legs are broken, you still have to eat everything, which Grace has talked about, which is right. But you also need like an army, because the bigger the homestead is, just the more exponentially people that you need. And that's just like a brutal fact. Is like, I would almost say you need like a person, 2 people per acre. I'd say like 2 people per acre is like a good number. And it's not that you're not going to make it. I'm not going to say like, you're not going to make it if you don't have XYZ. Mr. Chirperson. Even though, that would make an amazing clickbaity title. You're not going to make it if you don't have XYZ. But that's not it. It's not that you're not going to make it. It's just that you're going to be at the whims of... How do I say this? You're going to be just way more susceptible to things going wrong. City Prepping was talking about that, like he has... YouTube's his full-time job. He's got a near infinite amount of resources. He's got at least one helper with him. And he's still effed up, like, with his garden. And he's still missing things that are pretty obvious to me now, but aren't obvious to him. Things like having security cameras on your garden, because identifying which furry creature is eating your garden, if you're lucky, you might have one night to react to fur contact. And last year, I thought a rabbit was eating everything. No, it turned out the rabbit was running around having fun and just destroying everything from being a little furry cannonball. Right? That was different from Chris's problem. Like, Chris was having the rabbit just come through and eat everything wholesale. He also had the rat problem. We had a rat problem too. We had a single rat, which even a single rat becomes a massive problem, because nothing could eat or catch this thing. I mean, this rat was a big boy. And you tried to do the hair and everything. The funny thing is Chris was talking about how they tried to do the hair and the fox urine and everything. And I think Grace was talking about some similar stuff. All that shit, like, oh, just use XYZ for deer. And people just have like so many just smart ass. That worm is really close to the top. Go to bed, worm. People have all this cute shit, Someone who I respect, said this really stupid thing, and I went to look it up thinking that they were being helpful, and it was just a snarky, snide remark. And what I have become not maybe more sensitive to, but maybe more cognizant of, is just complete and total, like, losing all respect for people who don't actually have any solutions and just have one-liners. And so when he just kind of said that one-liner to me, I thought it was just completely disrespectful. He said, you need to be planting, bear traps in your yard. And I don't think that's helpful. I don't think that's cute. I don't think it's funny. the people that say shit like that, I can have a lot of respect for them, but I'm gonna still say those people aren't gonna make it if that's their real solution. If their real solution is just you think you're gonna trap and kill Bambi, and then that's your solution to a deer problem, you're not gonna make it because you can't stay awake 24 hours a day. And deer basically graze 24 hours a day. And you're gonna trap and eat them. Okay, then what? Do you have enough fridge space? Do you have like 18 freezers? And then the problem is like, what are you gonna do? Smoke it all? Can you really smoke that many? Like, you can't. It's not. It's infuriating. It's just the little one-liner bullshit. It's just I'm done with it. I don't even entertain it. As soon as I realize they're teasing me, I just kind of nicely say, "Oh, okay, so you're not serious. You don't. They just means they don't have a real solution." Even dogs, people will get dogs. The dogs will just play with the deer. Dogs aren't a real solution. And like Chris was pointing out, dogs aren't a solution to rabbits either. Dogs can't stay awake 24 hours a day to keep the rabbits away, and rabbits will wear a dog out to the point of exhaustion. So, man, I'm tired. So, that stuff's probably just gonna get thrown in the dump. And then that's gonna have to get sprayed with vinegar and stuff. It's hard to believe that this little nook back here already needs to be mowed. I wanted to do strawberries today, but I'm fucking wiped. That's the thing, it's just like it's kind of like on the one hand, like homesteading is like a labor of love, but it's also an insane amount of work. And man, I can't remember whose YouTube or whatever it was, but they were talking about like making money from it, and the only way you're gonna make like real money is if like you've already been working on it for generations, or if you've like won the lotto or something. And there's a lot of YouTube videos that have talked about how like most homesteaders is like a scam. Their videos are like a scam. Like they already had just metric shit tons of money, and you pan the camera the other way, and they're in the city or whatever. I call them celebrity gardeners that have those like amazing looking gardens. That's just not reality. And I ran into that putting the grapes together, because every single grape video I looked up was just the most vain, like Instagram perfect friggin' grape setups. And it's just like, that shit is not practical. The same thing with like the greenhouses, these like vanity greenhouses that people put up. It's like, that shit's not practical. Like, your average person doesn't have that much money. And before you type in the comments, oh, well, you can do it for cheaper, just XYZ. It's like, not necessarily if the person's already broke from trying to get their homestead to begin with. Well, land's really cheap. Well, it's usually only really cheap if something's wrong with it. And I really need like to start bringing a little chair with me, so I can sit in my little chair and do this stuff. I want to start setting up. I want to start setting up like like an outdoor garden bench. I've kind of gotten like halfway to making a couple of like outdoor like looking garden bench thingies, but like not quite. So I can like sit down, not because I'm getting old and tired, although I do feel old and tired. It's kind of just that like I want. First of all, you got to make things as low friction as possible, literally and figuratively. But prepping and gardening and stuff should be fun on some level. Like, not fun's not the right word. Cheap. Like calming, relaxing, therapeutic. Like, you should look forward to it after a long day's work. And if you don't look cheap, if you don't look forward to working on your garden, not that, you know, I mean, yeah, needing the garden's important, and, you know, needing to live off it or needing to make money off of it. Those things are all important, sure. But equally important, like after working all day, you should want to do it. You should want to do it. And not need to do it. Because if you need to do it, you're going to make excuses. If you want to do it, you're going to be looking forward to it all day. You're like, I can't wait to get off these damn calls, right? Instead, you get off calls and you're freaking exhausted and you got to go take a nap. And by the time you get up, because of stupid daylight savings, it's already dark. Meanwhile, you got social media telling you that you need to be going to the gym and you need to be watching their video or you're not going to make it. And there's lots of time zone things too. Like, I'm glad most of the mutual YouTubers we watch, I really appreciate. Plow. I really appreciate when they do their lives, because it gives time for everybody to actually try to homestead and garden and stuff. Does that make sense? So I really appreciate that. Because, like, it's freezing ass cold out here. And, you know, after I work hard all day, I'm already like, I'm not physically wiped, but I'm mentally wiped. And just putting my shoes on to go outside is just like exhausting. If there's no like major sense of urgency, it's hard to motivate myself to go out. Like, I can drink a 5-hour energy, or I can drink a Monster Rehab and go to bed. I don't even know what I'm trying to say here. You've got to like you have to lower the barrier to getting outside, and you have to lower the barrier to doing the work outside. And that means things like raising your beds. But as Chris was pointing out, like, you need to raise your beds anyway, or everything is going to get into them. And that's 100% true. He was raising his beds really to probably the minimum, which is good, because if that works for him, that works for him. But like, as I was pointing out, there's a cat is the only thing it could have. No, it could have been a rabbit. Rabbits can jump stupidly high, but I've never seen rabbits get in my potatoes before. I think it was a cat. Why would cats dig in the dirt? I don't know. To take a shit, probably. Could have been rabbits. I have to look it up. Because there's no flying thing that digs holes like a rabbit or a cat does to get at worms, which is the only thing that's in there is worms and potatoes. Again, unless the cat's just being weird and cheesering out over potatoes, which is very possible because there were potatoes everywhere. The cat could have been cheesering over the potatoes. Anyway, you gotta like lower the barrier to get outside. So like I'm sitting in a chair right now, hunched over what I want to put the strawberries in, pulling weeds, and this is pretty relaxing, I'd say. I took a Sudafed, my sinuses are still freaking out. But like, you also can't compare yourself to your neighbors because my neighbors have an army, man. They've got extended family busting their asses over there. And they've got generational hardware in terms of tractors and quads and you name it. Like, I'm not even going to remotely compare myself to them. It's still it's kind of a good guide. It's kind of a good guide, though. And I also think, choo choo, motherfucker. I think not comparing to yourself to your neighbors is good, but also understanding it's like, maybe if your neighbors have chickens, maybe you don't need chickens. And I think that's why I like the orchard, why we are so happy with that, because the neighbors have a freeze dryer thingy-mabob, so I don't have to buy a freeze dryer. Right? All I have to do is supply fruit. Right? And so now that I know the neighbors aren't putting in an orchard. They know that we put in an orchard. So, and I told them we were going to, that's going to be theirs too. And we already went in on pears and apples. No, pears. We went on pears last year with them. We were supposed to do 2 years prior, but I should have just went for it. But I was really unsure of myself the first year that we moved in here. And I didn't understand. Like, you have a 2-week window to pick the pears and you're screwed. I didn't know that. And also, if there's a bad frost, you get 0 pears. And I didn't know that either. So we had no pears year before last. And then last year we had tons of pears. And thankfully I jumped on it with the neighbor, which was the right thing to do. And I probably told you guys this, but they freeze dried half of our pears for free, and they're friggin' delicious. So, would it be nice if we had our own eggs? Yeah, but like, I don't actually feel super pressured to do eggs. I don't feel like it's a life and death thing, if that makes sense. Choo choo, motherfucker. So it's kind of like part of what I'm hoping to do is, if I made enough clover over here, maybe that will finally be a distraction enough that maybe saves us and the neighbors this year. I don't know. Because I'm hoping the clover distracts the deer. And I'm hoping the clover distracts the rabbits, and maybe it'll help save all of our gardens this year. That's what I was trying to do with the strawberries, but it's just impossible. It was impossible to grow strawberries because of the rabbits. And I'm assuming it was rabbits that got the raspberries. I thought it was deer, but now I'm not sure. They should have been far enough into where the deer shouldn't have been able to get them. So will rabbits eat raspberries down to the roots. I mean, I know they will boysenberries because they ate them down to the roots, and then something got in and ate the roots too. But we are gonna have to go absolutely overboard on reinforcing the fence this year. But the good news with the apple trees and the cherry trees is they really only have to get above 4 or 5 feet, and then the deer actually leave everything alone except for the trunks, and then you just have to reinforce the trunk. So it's understanding, I think, kind of that you don't have to do the whole thing, but yeah, I always miss the cars that are driving by because the acoustics is so funny. I think I hear them, and then I turn around, and then they're already by. Anyway, I thought I could outgrow. I thought if I planted enough raspberries, I could outgrow the rabbits, but it's not possible. That's funny. I've missed 3 cars in a row turning around. Anyway, so I can't outgrow them on strawberries. I thought I could outgrow them on raspberries. Clearly, you can't. They don't eat blackberries half the time, which is just wild, because that would be super helpful. So it's like clover is like the last thing. It's like if I could just find something distractionary. Kale. So kale gets massive, and I'm going to try to grow kale again this year. Battle moochers. Because like corn, dude, impossible. The rabbit leveled all the corn in one night. Where's the other baby cow, you little morons? Oh, there it is. Oh, one of the baby cows is like brownish black, like a chocolate. That's wild. That side note, the baby cow like hates walking through the mud. And so like the baby cow like will not walk through the mud anymore. It's like, no, I don't like this stuff at all. Like I don't know what this mud stuff is, but I don't like it. What are we supposed to do with this mud stuff? You'll walk through it, dummy. The other cows are like, let's fucking go. Anyway, I think I was trying, like in my videos, I'm not deliberately trying to do shorter content. I think I'm trying to do like less complicated content, because even though I was working really, really hard to weave my content together in these narratives, I think it was just not appreciated. I think people seem to like kind of like one topic and one overarching point, and that seems to help out. So there's about a million other things I want to talk about. I want to talk about the 3D printer stuff, but I have a feeling like as soon as I change topics, people just fucking lose it. So like they're trying to ban 3D printers in all of the freaking United States for reasons. And I think, in my opinion, a 3D printer, I think every prepper and every gardener should have a 3D printer, because you never have to order anything pretty much ever again. You just find the design online or create a design, and you can print whatever tool you need now. Where was I going with this? I know you're probably like, well, what about carrots? Carrots don't grow fast enough here. Corn doesn't grow fast enough here. We're moving on to 3D printers, everybody. Get with the program. So we had a catastrophic 3D printer failure, which was our fault. But, they couldn't be bothered to have, the sensors turned on by default that could detect things like this. Anyway, I identified the part I need. It said it was on back order for a day or two. Okay. I wait a day or two. Then all of a sudden it says the part's back ordered more than a week out. And I talked to Bamboo, which Bamboo is like the DJI of like the printerverse. Let's check this out. Oh, let's go. I've got stackable strawberry thingamabobs, and I love them. Okay. Anyway, 3D printers. So I used to say like, hey, you need to be stocking up DJI parts, right, for your drones because of the stupid tariff bullshit. And I was right. And I'm gonna go for one more quick. I'm gonna go put. Nah, I don't know. I'm gonna go for one more quick walk. It's gonna start raining any minute. I'm not gonna be able to finish this today. Baby moochers. Going for one more walk. So yeah, I can't get this critical 3D printer part that I need for weeks. And shockingly, 3D printer replacement parts are mega affordable. But you got to get the OEM parts. If you get the aftermarket parts, you're just going to destroy your whole unit, right? Well, Bamboo, I know this isn't a product placement, I swear. Bamboo printers, A1 minis, which are extremely capable, are only like $200 right now, which is just insane. So, you pay in 4, that's like $50. I'm gonna go walking in here. I want to check this garden out one time. Checked all the other gardens out. I want to check this one out. So we just ordered another. You're made of money. No, it was like insanely discounted. And we did a pay in 4 with no interest. So we're not made of money. Oh, it's hard to tell. Is this grape coming back? I think this grape is coming back. Man, something ate the shit out of this thing, though. Oh, it's fucking... Fuck. Wait a minute. Is that Mr. Hopperson? I think I see Mr. Hopperson. The deer are looking at me like I'm crazy. No, it's a bird. Hello, Missy Moochers. Hello, baby Moocher stuck in the mud. Baby Moocher's like, this mud sucks. What do we look like, pigs? Get us out of this. Why did you make us go in this mud? Anyway, my wife and I are going to have to reinforce this enclosure like crazy because I do not want to lose these grapes. And I don't want to lose my blueberries and my elderberries. Let's see. Is anything coming back on this guy? Oh, yeah. Oh, this thing's going to be huge. Okay. Yeah. This grape is going to like double in size, I can tell. Are the elderberries going to come back? I can't tell. It's hard to tell. Oh, this blueberry is going to come back with a vengeance. And this blueberry is going to come back with a vengeance. Yes! Let's go! This one is... This one is struggling, but it's going to come back a teeny tiny bit. Unfortunately, it's just got a giant tuft of grass growing right through it. And that is really hard for this one to overcome, and this used to be my biggest one. I think this thing has had a tough life. I can't remember if that used to be my biggest one, but I feel like that used to be my smallest one, and it had an ice storm. We had an ice storm, and it just snapped it right down the middle. And then a deer came and ate it after we moved. These two are doing great. Those elderberries. Oh, no. That elderberry's coming back. Oh, man, the frickin' voles. Battle moochers. The voles are brutal. But bring more gravel back here. I'm just gonna order a giant thing of gravel. Just gravel everything. Battle moochers in the mud. Battle moochers in the mud. Why do they do that? They get in the mud and then they get stuck and then they look sad. Crazy battle moochers. Anyway, gravel, especially sharp, jagged gravel, is the key to the universe. It turns out. You get enough sharp, jagged gravel, and the voles don't want to play anymore. But things like this, like, you're not going to find that on any YouTube video. I've never seen a single... Even Mousetrap Monday, he's like, yeah, shove vole traps and everything. It's like, yeah, that'll do it. But there's certain situations where you can't necessarily do that, or there's just too many of them. Just get a cat. Cats can't catch voles all day. Well, I didn't make you guys go in the swamp. They're looking at me like, no, come get us out. I'm like, I'm not gonna come get you out. You're in a swamp now. I didn't tell you to go in there. Crazy cows. Anyway, 3D printers. Grab an A1 Mini. I don't have a discount code. I'm not going to be linking stuff anymore because apparently it just destroys the algorithm. Destroys your algorithm. As soon as no shit though, as soon as I stopped putting affiliate links in my YouTube, my algorithm bounced right back. It's so ridiculous. I want to look at this one more time. So, Bamboo A1 Mini, look it up. Only buy official parts off of them. Same thing with DJI, unless you're going to buy, air screw props. But, Bamboo, buy official Bamboo parts. Don't buy unofficial Bamboo parts. The reviews are so bad. And Amazon will straight up say, like, frequently returned item. You avoid that shit like the plague. Like 80% of those reviews are bots. Oh yeah, this pear tree's coming back. That pear tree looks like it's coming back. I think. I don't see blossoms on them yet, but they've got the little spikies. Oh, yeah. Oh, as long as, knock on wood, as long as we don't have a freeze, we're going to be having crazy pears this year. I'm excited. I'm really looking forward to this year. I've got just enough. Oh, the horses are pissed too. Horses are like, don't go in the swamp, idiots. Me and Scoobs used to get into an argument. Horses don't growl. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do, Scoobs. Horses do growl. One was just growling at me, okay? I don't know what to tell you. I'm out of here. And the pear tree starter is coming back, even though that damn thing was chewed down by who knows what. The apple tree is not quite awake yet. The apple tree, the big apple tree, is still sleeping. Still thinking about things. Anyway, I'm not gonna do anything about it. You're a cow. You do the cow stuff. Anyway, I mean, I don't know, talking to you guys just, I don't know, it helps me feel like I'm not working alone. That's the thing. Like, when it's cold and you're tired, feeling like you're working with a buddy just like makes all the difference. And so that's why, like, if you guys listen to this whole thing and, you know, leave a comment, it makes me feel like I wasn't working alone. You know, that means a lot to me. I hope there's not another cold snap. I want it to just be a nice warm up. I'll plant those strawberries some other time. I did good things. I accomplished things. You know, and it's not about accomplishing a ton, because the weather is going to have ways. The weather's going to have its way with you no matter what. So as long as you're not directly, as long as your garden's not like directly under attack, like it was with those deer, when it's like, literally, if I don't do this now, we lose everything. Which, if you're following along, it seems like that's every time I'm here, since the day we moved in. But as long as nothing's like super urgent, just get a little bit done a day. In between pissing down rain, try to just get a little bit done, because like it adds up. You simultaneously don't have a lot of time, but also have tons of time at the same time. That makes sense. Like planting seeds and stuff, like planting your seeds, you don't need to get all that done at once. That can be done over several weeks, right? So plant a few, take a break, plant a few, take a break. It'll be fine. They'll catch up. Once it's really, really, really nice out, they'll catch up. You know, as long as, and there's going to be like false springs. So like, as long as, you know, it's not 60 for more than 2 days in a row, you haven't lost any time. We had a false spring earlier this month or late last month. There's always like 2 days in February and 2 days in March. And I think the March false spring is going to be here in a few days. The important thing is, like, contextualize what those days mean in your process. So, does that mean get a bunch of mowing done? You can, but understand that you're going to be mowing again in like 2 weeks, right? It doesn't mean planting things. I made that mistake the year before last. I planted a bunch of corn in March. And my neighbor was making fun of me. He was teasing me a little bit. He wasn't making fun of me really bad, but he was chuckling. And it's like, well, I've got to try. If I don't try, I don't know. Oh, the cow's trying to open the gate. Oh. Huh. Well, let's see how this goes. The other cows are like, he's on to us. She is right at the part of the gate that opens. She is nibbling at it. I can hear the gate jingling. And the other cows are all like statues. They're like, oh, nothing's going on here. Muchianya is biting at the gate thing, trying to open the gate. She's trying to figure it out. Crazy cows. Absolutely crazy cows, man. They're both the most lovable and most homicidal creatures on the planet. Anyway, just try to get a little bit done. A little bit of meaningful work done. Do a little bit of experimenting too, but don't experiment so much that if it fails, because like you're not, realistically speaking, you're not going to get that far ahead unless you've got greenhouses. Like in February and March, you're not going to get that far ahead because the weather might turn in April, it might turn in May, and it's probably going to turn in June at some point. So the odds of you getting a jump on it aren't that big. And so that's what I do. That's why I start my seeds in March. Because if it turns in April, I'll be ready. If it doesn't turn in April, I put all my seeds directly into plastic cups now. They can sit in those plastic cups for like 2 months. So I'm not behind. And then whenever you have to wait until it's sunny out for them to acclimate anyway. Paddle moocher. Now the cows are sharing what they learned trying to open the gate. You just, as long as you know, watching 3 baby cows is just hilarious. They're like the 3 musketeers. As long as you know how much growing time you need for each plant, you'd know that it's not as urgent as you think it is. Because cucumbers only last a certain amount of time anyway. And your tomato plants are only going to last a certain amount of time anyway. If you're a region that has several weeks in either direction, like, you're fine. Man, that mud is thick though. Anyway, get a 3D printer. It gives you something to do during the winter. You can print all the shit that you need and start your own little business too. Get a drone so you can monitor things easier. Get some cameras so you can know what kind of critters you're up against. I never did find, honestly, what tore my trees to shreds, or what tore our trees to shreds. I never did find out what that was. I've asked the AI so many times, and it said the woodpeckers don't do that. And it says the finches don't do it, and it says none of these birds do it. It says the crows will do it, but I never see the crows messing with this. So it couldn't have been the deer. Deer can't get in here. Couldn't have been the rabbits, because the rabbits would have just destroyed everything. I never saw the rats climb. And the only feathers I've seen back here were, I think, that woodpecker's feathers. I mean, if the crows were back here, like, I would know. It's just insane. So you need cameras pointed at your garden to know what's fucking with your garden. Because if you don't know what's fucking with your garden, by the time you're fiddle farting around with how to defend it, you'll lose it in like 2 nights. Same thing with the trees. I lost almost all my trees in like 2 nights. And you can lose your whole entire garden in 2 nights. You've got to really have to have lots of good monitoring solutions and ways to print your own tools, because you don't know with these stupid tariffs and the Strait of Hormuz, and if we go to war with China over Taiwan and stuff, like, you're not going to be getting 3D printer parts anymore. So 3D printers, and if they ban 3D printers anyway. So we'll have a second 3D printer, and then eventually we'll get the parts, and I'll rebuild the first 3D printer, and we'll be able to make our own parts. You have no idea, as a homesteader, you have no idea to not have to order shit off Temu anymore, not have to go to Ace Hardware anymore and pay 3 times how much it should cost. Yeah, you're supporting a local yeah, I get supporting a local business is great, but like, it's not your job to subsidize them, right? You can't 3D print chicken wire, but you can 3D print fences and connect the pieces together. You absolutely can. You can 3D print your own lattices to grow cucumbers. It's actually pretty crazy. All right, I'm going to go sit in the covered area and then try to wrap my thoughts up, because Griffin was reminding me that I haven't been telling you guys about my game. My game is done. I just need to end-to-end test the 3 difficulties. And it's hard when I work a full-time job and I'm trying to homestead and I'm a mod for a couple channels, and I'm trying to learn, and I'm exhausted. Ugh. So I work, nap, and then get up and keep working. And it's just a lot. And I love the heck out of my game, but I've also played it through a ton of times. I really wanted to get somebody to QA my game, but it was supposed to be like last weekend, but last weekend just completely went sideways with the landslides and shit. I don't know. I don't know if I did a thing about that, but like, people, just maps, just back roads, just this, just that, just proof. You prove that you just don't know what you're talking about, and that it's never happened. Just do back roads. If the back roads are all backed up, all those back roads are useless. You need to know. I had someone say that you need to know at least 3 ways. Okay, so what if all 3 ways have exactly the same failure mode? Then what? Then what, cow? Like, you gotta just understand that, like, here in the Pacific, yeah, and Griffin, that was probably you. I'm not talking shit. Like, I've actually I've heard that a lot. And our roads all have the same failure modes here. So if one road's washed out, there's a good chance they're all washed out. If one bridge is out, there's a good chance that all the other roads are just blocked up. It's super common. Because when your GPS updates, so does everybody else's, unless the GPSs are wrong, which is actually what happened to me. Roads that weren't blocked were. Roads that it said were backed up with traffic weren't, and roads that weren't backed up with traffic that it said actually were. It was like a monumental GPS failure. Don't trust GPS. Okay, well, what the fuck? Oh, it's just unbelievable. It's unbelievable here. Like, to truly, because this has happened to my brother, to like truly take a legitimate alternate route, you're talking about going halfway across the state and hoping there's no other failure modes, and then coming all the way back. It turns a 2-hour drive into like 5 or 6 hour drive, which not only is exponentially more things that could go wrong, but double the fuel, double, triple the time, and potentially new failure modes. It can be done, right? I'm not saying that it's wrong. I'm saying that it is not the answer that people think it is. Because your options are head to the coast if you can get there, go up the coast. I hope it's not flooded in at the coast, which it absolutely can be, because it's the coast and that's where the water goes. So we were in Tillamook once, and half of Tillamook was underwater, and all of Tillamook was out of power. So that's shit that can happen.com. But also realize at some point you got to come back inland, and every single one of those places is another potential flood zone and another potential landslide zone. Every single one. Unless you drive all the way up to the main highway, take the main highway, which by the way still passes through a landslide zone, take the freeway all the way back. You're talking like 5 hours. Like, you want to go around, it takes 5 hours. Or you're headed to the pass, which is, by the way, where all the flooding is coming from. Right? And then head all the way back. Or you head through, where it can be both at the same time. It's like, it's nuts here in terms of that, which is why it's like, just stay your ass home. But you can't always stay home. Sometimes you gotta go to the hospital. Sometimes you gotta help some friends out. Like, sometimes you've gotta go. And when you gas up and you get your maps and you get your GPS and you bring extra batteries and candy bars and make the best of it. Bring extra battery packs so you can keep your phone going, so you can monitor that. And you just get to it and do it. Just make shit happen. That's the real shit. And get a 3D printer. Get a drone. And you might say, you're always saying to get some new thing. No, you need, ideally, besides beans, bullets, and bandages, and boobies, you need, modern defense, modern defensive stuff. You need cameras. You need, ideally, armor, although armor is a little bit lower on the list. You need 3D printer. You need drones. You need radios. And yeah, in the end, none of that tech is going to save us. But every single one of those pieces of tech has a force multiplier. It's just like carrying a tourniquet. Like, are you probably never going to use a tourniquet? Yeah, you're probably never going to use the tourniquet. But if you need to use it, it's a force multiplier. A life-saving multiplier. I talked to a guy, side note, I'll end with this. I talked to a guy yesterday. Their power's been out for days. He had to drive all of their food to 2 or 3 different houses to like find people with power that he could put his food in their fridges. And so when I tell you, and when all the other Hudson Valley and Livingston Man and Vision and Rural and OVP, and when they all say that like people are not as prepared as you think they are, it still blows my mind to no end. Even in 2026, how ludicrously unprepared people actually are. It is batshit insane how underprepared people are. That's just the bottom line. And so people always say like they get like too daunted to like start, and it's like you don't have to have all that shit all at once. You know, you don't have to go be like the Overlander Vantards and sell your house and drop 300 grand on prepper shit. In fact, I would encourage you not to do that, because they'll, unless you go buy my bunker book, you're not going to know what to do with any of it anyway, and half of it's probably going to be shit that's not going to help you. And you're not going to know what to do with the other half, and half of it's, yeah, it's rough, right? You just need to get a little bit of a couple things, and if it's candles, that's fine. And if you have some other way of preserving food in bulk, that's fine. Some way of purifying water, storing water and stuff. Like, you don't have to do a metric shit ton. You just have to do a little bit. You just have to start. And if you've already done that stuff, get a 3D printer. Get a drone. Get a couple of, if you like the camera brand that you have, get a couple extra cameras. If you can, when they're on sale, watch for sales and grab a couple extra. Every time I think I'm prepared, I realize how like woefully underprepared I am. But we do pretty darn good. Honestly, sometimes I think we do way better than we have any right to. But I think it's because we understand enough of the fundamentals to where we can make whatever we have work. So as long as I can get those cucumbers and tomatoes to sprout, I know that I can come out here, acclimate this shit for a few weeks, put it in the ground, protect it, and I know that we'll have a couple months worth of food to snack on. And I think just looking at it right now, we're going to be doing 6 to 8 tomatoes, 6 to 8 cucumbers, and 4 zucchini. And I still don't know what's going to go in those 7 totes. I have no idea what's going to go in those 7 totes. It's all partial shade. We grew peas in those before, but man, that's a bitch. So I need to find something that I will like in partial shade. Takes carrots 2 years to grow over there, which is insane. Peppers don't grow over there. So leave me a comment down below if you know a partial shade food that I would actually like eating. Because the tomatoes and the cucumbers and the zucchini need full sun. And I've got 7 totes in partial shade, and I don't know what to grow in them. Cabbage grew in them fine, but the cabbage was yucky. And guess what likes to eat cabbage? The rabbit. So I guess that's going to be part of my homework tonight, is trying to figure out what a partial shade diddly-do is. But it's cold. It's raining. My feet are soaked. And hopefully this was like semi-coherent. What do I call this one? Homestead something? Anyway, my game's coming out soon. But I promise I'll do a live stream before it goes live. With the full E2E. I'm going to charge $6.50, I think. There's 3 difficulties. And if you want to pay me more, that's great. Sustainment protocol. Microgrid manager. It's going to be on itch.io. I'm not putting it on Steam, and fuck GOG. So, GOG is good old games. Fuck those pretentious retro slop snobs. Anyway, I will talk to you all later. I feel like there was some more, but I can't remember. Just start your gardens, but don't be too hard on yourself, especially if it's just you or you plus one. You're not trying to do everything, you're just trying to do something. Get good at like 1 or 2 things. Like strawberries and cucumbers are kind of our thing, right? For this garden, right? Each garden, just try to do like 2 things. Some people, maybe it's only onions and garlic. Just try to do something. Find something that works. Like it might just be kale. Find something that works, okay? Does that make sense? And then you have a foundation, all right? I'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.